Oh my goodness, it's getting late. Brianna should be home soon.
Oh, look, there she is. Hey, Brianna.
How was your day, sweetheart?
It was okay, I guess, Mom.
So what'd you learn?
Well, I got homework about a menstrual cycle. What is it, and why do we have it every month?
I guess we can help you with that. So, the menstrual cycle is kind of like the hormonal changes in the ovaries and in the uterus, just in case a baby's going to be made. You get it every month because, well, you eat every day, right?
What does that have to do with me eating?
You still get hungry after not eating for a while, right?
Yeah.
Well, the period is like hunger because your brain is sending a signal that you're hungry. And it is the same thing when you have low levels of estrogen. The low estrogen is received in the brain by specialized neurons called kisspeptin neurons. And these neurons are kind of like your stomach growling. Your brain gets a signal that you haven't eaten, and it tells you to eat in the same way that these kisspeptin neurons tell the body that it needs more estrogen. So it sends it a message.
And the neurons your mom's telling you about, well, they send a message to the hypothalamus. That's part of your brain that sends out releasing hormones to relay the message of other hormones. In this case, the hypothalamus will release a hormone called gonadotrophic releasing hormone. It's kind of like your taste buds telling you what you want to eat.
I think I want a sandwich now.
Okay.
So, luteinizing hormone is kind of like the jam on your sandwich. And the FSH, or the follicle stimulating hormone, is kind of like the bread. They don't make up the sandwich by themselves, but they are needed to make the sandwich. In the same way that FSH and LH are a part of the menstrual process. So, FSH helps to develop the follicles, and LH causes the developed follicle to ovulate or to be released so that they move out of the ovaries through the uterine tubes and then to the uterus. It does so by releasing progesterone and estrogen, which are other important hormones.
That's a lot of hormones. Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
We're just getting started with
All these hormones feed back to the neurons we started with, kisspeptin neurons, and they tell it when estrogen and progesterone are present.
So it's not hungry anymore?
Yeah, I guess you could say that it's full. And just like when you get hungry every day, the neurons get hungry for estrogen and progesterone every month. When levels of progesterone decrease, that's when women get their periods.
But I have one more question. What's a follicle?
Follicles make up the ovary and are at all different stages of growth. Once the follicle reaches its final stage, it can ovulate, and this happens whenever you have a surge of LH. And so then the oocyte can travel down the uterus.
So what's an oocyte?
That's what becomes the baby. But if the egg or the oocyte isn't fertilized and the baby doesn't form, then the corpus luteum is filled with scar tissue.
So how do you know all this is happening?
Well, a lot of women experience PMS, or premenstrual syndrome, and this happens usually about 3 to 10 days before their period. And it can be characterized by cramps, nausea, headache, bloating, migraines, and even depression.
and mood swings.
So how do you get rid of all this?
Well, you can't really get rid of it, but there are ways to alleviate a lot of the symptoms. You can take Midol that has caffeine to reduce bloating and ibuprofen to help you deal with the pain. You can take yoga classes or exercise class to help you deal with stress. And also drinking plenty of water is very important.
Mom, how did you learn all this stuff?
Well, honey, I learned it all from Dr. Cannon in college in reproductive physiology.